You know this, I know this, that in a Sadharan Dand or a Hindu push-up, or it's also called a dive bomber push-up, that you have to go kind of dive down like this, and in a curved path you'll come up. This curve has to happen. It has to go like this. But when you see experienced people on social media or fighters or players are practicing this, especially in a more faster pace, like Dand Baithaks, like Sapate, you won't see this happening. It's just basically it looks very strict. It looks more closer to the standard push-up. So are they wrong? Are they doing something different? Or is there something you and I should understand? Aya, Aya. Hup. अच्छा वो आएगा तो नहीं फिर से दिल ने ये कहा है दिल. Welcome back, and as you can see, the latest merch designs are already here, and you can get yours. Link is in description. But before that, a sadharan dant or this kind of a dive bomber push-up. What usually happens is, I made videos in which I've explained you have to go like this, like a dive, and then you have to curve and rise up like a bhujangasana, and then maybe it's a version in which you trace back, or you just simply reset. That's the way, usually if you look on the internet or social media or YouTube, the dand or a basic Indian push-up, that's how it is explained. But then in the intro video itself or in some other cool Instagram clip, you will find experienced players doing exactly the opposite of that. Their push-up would look basically not like this, but it would look like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. This is the head, this is the hip. It's not going down like this, but it's going just like this. It's like a push-up, like just a regular push-up. What is the difference between your regular dand and your sapate? One is to be done slowly. From the Parvatasana, you feel the position, go down slowly, like a negative rep for the shoulder press. You're going down slowly without over rotating the shoulder. You're coming down, feeling that position, tightening your core, and then slightly in that curved manner, you're coming up, rising yourself up like the hood of a snake, or to be precise, Bhujangasana. That's why it is called like that. So slowly, as gentle as a cobra, you're coming up. These things are supposed to be practiced slowly, especially because there is a lot of stretching, a lot of chance that you might do something wrong. That is why it's done in a more yoga kind of a style. Slowly, aha, aha, and then back up. Even if you're doing it for muscle training purpose, when the sadharan dand is done separately, it will be done slowly and like that. And if you find these professionals, these players on social media, and if you ask them to do it separately, they will also do like this, like a nice curve, and then come back up. But when they are doing something endurance oriented, stamina endurance oriented, high intensity kind of a training, specifically sapate and dand baithak, you will find their push-up no longer looks like this. It looks basically, if this is the head, this is the hip, it looks like the head goes down, head comes up, hip comes up, like a beginner level push-up. It's no more like this. It's just basically one. Why? Because when you're doing something fast and you're doing something as stretchy and as fancy as the Bhujangasana, Parvatasana, and these curved motions, you might want to reduce on the stretching. You might want to reduce on that flowing, curving motion, because there is a good chance you will cause yourself injuries in the wrist, in the back, and in the shoulder. So in a basic dand, the focus has to be on feeling those positions, slowly stretching and coming up in this flowing motion. But when I'm doing something like a dand baithak, it is supposed to be a cardio endurance oriented thing. Now here, the focus is not to feel all these motions, feel all these exercises. The focus over here is to do something faster, again and again, to get good at it, number one, and to be better at stamina, endurance, to be able to do hard things for a long period of time. And what makes a good stamina or endurance exercise? Something that is easy, something that can be done for longer periods of time. For example, if I ask you to do something like a high jump in which you're touching your toes like, it looks very good, looks very fancy, or jump up and touch your knees to your chest or do a backflip or something. It's a very hard thing to do. There's a good chance you will injure yourself. And those things are not typically good for stamina building. You can try that once, yeah, you can do a backflip good. But imagine doing 25, 30, 50 backflips together for stamina. There's a good chance before you build stamina, you'll cause yourself injury. So we typically look at easier things, relatively easier exercises that can be done for longer periods of time so that this becomes more like a steady state cardio. It does not become a very hard something that you do for high intensity short period of time and then cause yourself injuries. A sadharan dand or the dive bomber push-up is a little fancy, and if you do that kind of a curving very fast again and again, chances of injuries are there. So what these people are doing is, they're not necessarily going to explore all aspects of the dand. They've done that already. They're not here to take full benefit from the dand as an exercise. They are here to take the stamina or endurance building benefit out of this little exercise done again and again. So why not do a regular push-up? Why not just do because that's a little more difficult. To be honest, the sapate or dand baithak variation is a little more easy. Because imagine, in a strict push-up, you're going down, and you're coming up, while your whole body is held together in a plank position and you just have your arms. Compare that with this, in which you can kind of drop yourself down and just push the upper body first, and then the hip comes later. Upper body first, hip comes down, upper body first, hip comes up. Isn't that relatively easier? And can that not be done for a longer period of time again and again? Hence, a better endurance stamina building exercise. Does it make sense? हाँ जी, तो क्या बोले जा रहे हैं ये बांदर? So basically, देखिए, कभी कभी लोग ऐसे कर्व में जाते हैं, नीचे से जाते हैं, फिर ऊपर आते हैं. ये एक सर्कुलर पाथ है. इसको हम नीचे से गए, प्यार से ऊपर आए, और फिर ये जो घुमाव है, ये जो कमर की जो लचक इसमें आती है, ये चीज़ अलग है. साधारण दंड में ऐसा प्रैक्टिस होता है, धीरे धीरे स्ट्रेच करके प्रैक्टिस होती है, ताकि आपकी कमर में लॉन्ग टर्म में एक लचक आए, आपको उस एक्सरसाइज से पूरे फ़ायदे मिल पाएँ. लेकिन फिर जब आप स्टैमिना के लिए करते हैं, एंड्योरेंस के लिए करते हैं, ताकि आप ज़्यादा देर तक लड़ पाएँ, रेसलिंग कर पाएँ, दौड़ पाएँ, तो इस तरीके की एक्सरसाइजेस में ये ज़्यादा घुमाव और खिंचाव नहीं होना चाहिए. क्योंकि उसमें क्या है कि आप करने वाले हो तेज तेज, फिर से करेंगे, ऐसे करते रहेंगे. आप करने चाह रहे हो 15-10 मिनट के लिए कुछ करना चाह रहे हो, तो ऐसी एक्सरसाइजेस होनी चाहिए सिंपल, जिसमें आप दिक्कत ना आ पाए, आपके जॉइंट्स में आपको गलती करने का चांस कम हो. तो जब हम भुजंगासन से पर्वतासन में ऐसे जाते हैं, तो उसमें क्या है कि कभी कभी ज़्यादा ऊपर नीचे स्ट्रेच हो सकता है अगर आप फास्ट करें तो इसी वजह से जो पहलवान लोग होते हैं, जब वो सपाटे या दंड बैठक करते हैं, तो वो ऐसा स्ट्रिक्ट नहीं करते, एकदम करेक्ट सर्कुलर पाथ में नहीं जाते हैं, वो सीधा नॉर्मल पुशअप की तरह करते हैं. बस इतना ही है. तो कहने का तात्पर्य ये है, आप आ गए दंड में, ये प्रकार का पूरा स्ट्रेचिंग वाला जो होता है, जिसमें आप एक कर्व्ड पाथ में जा रहे हैं, आराम से आप पहले जा रहे हैं ऐसा अंदर से, और ये जो सेमी सर्कल है, इसमें आपका हेड जो है ऐसे ट्रैवल कर रहा है. ये चीज़ नहीं करी जाएगी अगर मैं बहुत फास्ट तरीके से स्टैमिना बिल्डिंग वाला कोई दंड बैठक कर रहा हूँ. नाउ यू कैन सी, अर्लियर आई वाज गोइंग इन अ कर्व्ड पाथ, but now it's basically just this. Basically it's like a beginner push-up. How beginners would do push-up, if you force them to do it, they'll go like down and down and there's kind of a very little coordination between the hip and the upper body. The upper body comes up first and then hip comes up later. That is kind of what is done over here, so that it becomes an easier exercise and can be learned for a longer period. So that's all for today. If you like what I'm wearing, the t-shirt can be ordered on Kadak Merch. The dhoti is exclusively available with us. You can order the Kalari dhoti, we can send it to you, and this is 100% cotton. It's very comfortable for all these kind of exercises, and also if you just want to look something different, right? So it's more like a Kalari, martial art, akhada kind of a wear. It will support all those activities like yoga or something like that as well. Now, Senrujitsu mobile application is there in which you can kind of learn these exercises in detail. What is the purpose? The purpose is a body weight exercises for strength and conditioning. You don't need a gym, you don't need equipments, you do not need a lot of space, but you do need to understand this in a little more detail. Hence, video tutorials will be provided and you can get the courses, you can download those videos or you can attend online classes. Course 1 was Dand Baithak Sapate, done together in different combinations. Course 2 was Lathi spinning inspired by Kalari and Silambam techniques. Course 3 is coming. ठीक है, उसमें क्या होगा, उसमें आप देसी बॉडी वेट एक्सरसाइजेस को किस प्रकार से मिक्स करते हैं मार्शल आर्ट्स मूव्स के साथ. तो दंड किया, किक मारा, दंड किया, पंच किया. सो एक तरीके से हाई इंटेंसिटी कार्डियोवास्कुलर एक्सरसाइज बनाई जा रही है, एक सर्किट बनाया जा रहा है, एक कॉम्बिनेशन बनाया जा रहा है जिसमें एनीवे आपको सेपरेटली भी सिखाया जाएगा. देयर विल बी सेपरेट tutorials available for each of those martial art moves and dands and baithak and whatever is happening. And in the end, you will have a special combo which is created by us for the sake of doing these things together in a nice flow. So that's it. और वीडियो वगैरह पसंद आ रहा होगा, चैनल में हम जो करते हैं पसंद आ रहा होगा तो लाइक करिए, शेयर करिए, 4 लोग और देखने, मज़ा आएगा. All the profits are going for feeding hungry people of my house.